I want to share with you 8 things, 8 tips that you can use as we go on to a new year. And it's going to help you to succeed as we walk into the new year. Because we're going into a new year, we stand at a threshold, at a point where it's in fact a privilege actually for us to be alive. I consider life a gift. By the way, my name is Stallone-Obaraemi Samuel. And today in this video, I want to explore the concept of preparing for a successful journey into the months ahead, the new year ahead. And as we get close to the end of one year, it's like one chapter of our lives. It's kind of closed, right? And then we're moving into another. A point is, how prepared are we? Let me ask you a question. How many of us have really experienced the excitement and the anticipation that goes into the prospect of a new year? Oh, it's a new year and all the celebrations and everything. Mentally, some people just shut down. All right. Because some, it's a time to just go down and recalibrate, sort of, and then start anew, start afresh, to set new goals and to embrace new possibilities and new opportunities. It's part of the joys and the gifts that the beauty that we experience in life. And so it is important, it is worth it for us to take a moment and just delve into the prospect or the art of preparing, or the process of preparing for a successful year that promises growth, that promises resilience, and also accomplishment. So, like I said, I want to share with you 8 tips. If you have a pen, write something down. It's important. As I'm talking to you, I need you to see me as your friend, because I'm also talking to myself. So, these are some of the things that I am learning and I'm applying, and I'm also sharing with you because they do work. They do work. And none of us actually applies those things perfectly, but we keep growing. The first I want to share with you, which, if you ask me, is the most important for me of the 8 that I'm going to share with you right now, I think, but pay attention, because for you, something else from the 8 that I'm going to share with you might be more important. So, the first one I want to share with you is reflection and gratitude. Reflection and gratitude. Before we embark on the journey of the new year, it's essential to take a moment and take a look at what we've done, reflect over the past year, the actions that we've taken, the decisions that we've made. Reflect not only on the challenges and the setbacks, but also on the victories, no matter how small. I'm going to emphasize that a little bit, but it's important to understand that gratitude for the lessons that we've learned along the line and the experiences gained is a first step towards building a foundation for success in the coming year. Well, the reason many of us are not really grateful for what we've done is that we're unable to even put together and say, what have I been able to achieve thus far? Just to help you to understand this concept of gratitude, I want to tell you a story which some of us must have heard. Now, this is a story about Jesus and his disciples. They were in the temple, as the Bible tells us. Well, if for those of you who may not know what the Bible is actually it's actually a holy book that Christians use. I want to make it as simple as that. So we don't want to go into deep conversations about that right now in this video. So according to the Bible, Jesus and his disciples were in the temple, and many people were giving gifts. And there was a lady, were making contributions. There was a lady, an old woman, a widow, who contributed 2 small coins. Okay, she contributed 2 small coins, and then Jesus said she contributed more than all of them. He did not condemn all the other contributions where people contributed out of their surplus, but he noted that she contributed out of her want. The small, the last, very small thing that she had to contribute it. So he appreciated that effort. It's small, but the contribution is actually small, but the effort that went into bringing that out, massive. How do I want to tie this to what we're discussing? Sometimes in life, we make a very small shift, visible shift, but it may have taken us so much energy to make that shift. It must have taken so much internally for us to make that physical, visible shift. But then we don't celebrate it. We're not gratitude. We're not grateful for that move. If you cannot appreciate yourself for the small move that you've made, how would you appreciate yourself when you make the big moves? If you're not grateful for the small things that people do for you, how would you be grateful for the big things that they do? Because gratitude is not about the size of the things that you're grateful for, but it is actually some sort of character building. It's an attitude that you develop over time. I want to mention a couple of some of the small things that happen, seemingly small things that happen in our lives that we may not take note of. And the reason I'm mentioning that is that when you watch this video, you probably will need to sit back and say, come on, wait a moment. I think I've also done a lot I need to be grateful for. I've achieved a lot. I've been helped in so many ways. And I've probably not been grateful to those people who did that for me because I felt it was small. Now let's go back. But I want to direct it to you. I want to direct it to you. I want to direct it to me. All right. First, you may have, in this year, you may have gone through the year developing a consistent morning routine. For some people, they've tried all their lives to be able to develop a morning routine and they've not been able to. But you probably have developed a routine where you wake up, you probably pray, you read, you meditate, you go to the gym. Four things: you pray, you read, you meditate, you go to the gym. You do that every day, or maybe 3 times in a week, depending on what you've said, and you've been consistent. That's a shift. Another thing you could be grateful for that many people really could be maybe staying hydrated. For many people, they've just disciplined themselves to stay hydrated at a particular level. It might seem small, but I assure you there are millions of people around the world that have been trying to do that and have not been able to do that. Be grateful. It might just be that you've developed the character, the attitude, the discipline to eat right, to make a shift in your eating habit. Be grateful for that move. It might just be that you've also developed the discipline to reduce your screen time, your social media time. All social media can be addictive. Screen can be addictive. And so you develop that and you've been able to, that discipline, be grateful. It just might be that you've developed the discipline to sleep early and have enough time to sleep, quality sleep. Be grateful. It might just be that all you've just done is to be able to set boundaries, to be able to say no. You've developed the character to say no, the ability, the capacity to say no. That's a shift. For some people, they just cannot. It might just be that you've become more consistent in being kind, in weighing your words. So your words are always seasoned with salt instead of being some kind of knife that stabs people. You've toned down. If you were someone that curses, you've toned down on how much curses, how much goes out of your mouth that's vulgar. And you've now beginning to tame the way you talk. It's a shift in your personality, in your character. Be grateful. You've done a lot. All right. It might just be completing a personal project. A project as small as I'm going to read 2 books this year. For some people, all their lives, they've never completed 1 book. If you've read 2 books, that's a shift. Now, I can go on and on and on, but I think you get the message. There's a whole lot that we do out there that we're not grateful for. We don't pay attention. So I'm encouraging you, pay attention to what you have done thus far and be grateful that you were able to do that. Now, number 2 that you need to put into consideration, number 2 tip or strategy you need to put into place as you walk into a new year is to set clear and inspiring goals. Clear and inspiring goals. Set goals that inspire you. It's a success. A successful year actually begins with a clear setting clear goals, setting timelines, define timelines that will help you to succeed and helping you to see when you see success, your success, would you know it? Okay, in terms of your personal life, your professional life, family life, in terms of relationship. Now, for you to achieve this, your goals need to be specific. I'm going to give you an example about SMART goals that I use. I've used a couple of times in trainings and workshops, but I hope it works. Now imagine if you have two parents. Now parent A tells the child, I need you to sweep the house. I need you to sweep the house by the time I return from work. The child goes and sweeps and all does all of that. And the mother or the father comes back and says, this house is not clean. Mother goes around and steps on the floor and feels a grain of sand and all of that and touches any area surface and feels dust and all of that and says, this house is not clean. The child says, but I've cleaned the house. And they go back and forth. But you have a second parent who says, I need you to clean this house in such a way that I will not feel a grain of sand when I step in with my bare foot. I will not feel any dust when I run my hand on any surface. But that's clear enough to see the measure of success or failure is based on how much if I feel a grain of sand, or if I run my hand and then I feel dust, any form of dust. It may not be a perfect example, but I think you get the point. If you want to set SMART goals, you need to set measures that are so clear that when you see them, you know, okay, that's my goal. I've hit it. Now I'm going to move on to the next. Now it's not easy, and that's why many people don't. People just try to set it even in businesses. Managers and leaders, many of them, and I say this respectfully, do not understand how to set SMART goals. And so the goals are usually not clear. And then at the end of the day, you've experiences back and forth between the manager and the employee. Well, we'll not go into that. This is about you going into a new year and setting clear goals. Okay, very clear goals. It's very simple. Every month, I'm going to read one book. It's that simple. So if you don't read a book, if you don't cover a book in a month, you know you've not hit that goal. It's like straightforward, isn't it? All right. Okay. So you can go and do some more research on how to set SMART goals. But the key thing, I'm saying, if you want to walk into a new year and be successful, if I want to, it's important, as difficult as it is, to learn to set SMART goals and stick to them. The number three is to create plans, action plans to achieve the goals. Because there's one thing in setting goals, and there is another for doing what? For achieving those goals step by step. What? Because when you just set goals without plans to achieve them, they're mere wishes, right? They're mere wishes. So it's important to set your goals and then after that, put actionable steps. These are concrete day-to-day actions that move you closer to achieving those goals. And the beauty of this is when you create those goals, those detailed step-by-step action, you empower yourself and you make consistent progress. When you hit a milestone, you feed your mind. Your mind is excited. Whoa, we've hit this goal. So we've hit this milestone. Let's move to the next one. But without that clarity, it becomes difficult. For some people, you might find it hard to set these goals and set the action plans yourself. And that is where you probably need help. So find a coach, find a mentor, find a consultant, find a friend that can help you. Okay, find a friend, find a consultant, find someone that can help you. If you need help in that line, that's part of what we do at Delonville Global Associates, to also help people to set goals. We are really focused on helping people to grow, because many times people do have career plans to grow, but they do not have personal plans, their personal growth plans. So we can help you. We've got the tools, we've got the community that can help you to grow. And so I don't know where you'll be watching this video, but I'm sure there should be a link somewhere that you can click to get to us and have a discovery call where we can find what exactly do you want, what do you need to succeed in the new year, and we can co-create a plan with you and help you to succeed. So I've mentioned 3 tips or strategies that you can use. We can actually expand on them, but this video is about inspiring you. This video is about waking you up. There's a possibility you've listened to a couple other videos preparing you for the new year. Add this to that. There's a possibility you haven't. This is the first, but I hope this helps you to wake up and say, I can't just walk into a new year like that and take each day as it comes. Just because people have said it over and over that insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So I want you to succeed. I want to succeed a lot more than I did this year so that I have plans. And so I'm sharing this with you from the love of my heart. All right. So that you would also succeed. And I hope that you'll be moved to share this video with other people, to move them, to excite them, to incite them to action. Okay. So the reason I am very particular when it comes to creating action plans is that I think it was Tony Robbins who said that many people, they underestimate the power of taking small steps over an extended period of time and overestimate the power of taking one big massive step. You understand? In other words, it means when you take small steps over an extended period of time, you achieve a lot more than when you wait for a long time to take one massive step. Does that make sense? Cool. The next point is to embrace change and be adaptable. Now, in the journey towards success, change is inevitable. We cannot avoid it. The ability to adapt to new circumstances and changes is a key factor in achieving your goals. So we all must learn to cultivate a mindset of that sees change as an opportunity for growth rather than an obstacle. Be flexible and adaptable, and that's where you can grow in the coming new year. And that way you become a bit more resilient and tougher than you are today. Okay, so when we see change, okay, let me rephrase. I think most times the reason we avoid change is because it stretches us. And all of us hate to be stretched. I hate to be stretched. But because I understand the power of being stretched, I embrace it. It's not like I love it, but I embrace it because I need it to grow. Let me give you an example that I give a lot. I have a keynote speech that I've delivered on different platforms. It's called Stretch. But there's this example I like to share with you. Let me see. Okay, so I think I have my rubber band. Most times I go around with a rubber band because it's very important. It reminds me of something. Now take a look at this rubber band. You see, the rubber band is useless except it is stretched. You cannot use a rubber band. It's useless except it is stretched. If I take this, if I take this flask, all right, and I put this rubber band, the rubber band is only useful when I stretch it. All right. So if I take my phone, so the rubber band is only useful when I stretch it. If I want to put the rubber band in my hand, it's only useful when I stretch it. So just like the rubber band, when we stretch, we become better. And I take this from one of John Maxwell's 15 invaluable laws of growth. That's a law of the rubber band, which simply tells us that growth stops when you lose the tension. When you lose the tension between where you are and where you want to be or where you could be. It's tension. The rubber band is only useful within when there is tension. So this is our comfort zone. That's where we want to go. That's our goal. That's the point we want to go. In between, you have the tension zone. People hit that point. So people don't want to travel through the tension zone. They lack the comfort zone. And no growth happens within the tension, the comfort zone. So as we go into the new year, I hope this video inspires you to appreciate tension, to appreciate change because it stretches you. If we are not stretched, we do not grow. When we don't grow, we die. So stretching is important. All right. Now, I hope that makes sense. And that really moves you to say, let me take another look at how much I embrace change and what this means to me. So the next I want to share with you is that you invest in personal and professional development. Continuous learning is the fuel that propels success. This year, a couple of months ago, I decided to go into, so let me go back and test myself. And I've gone for 3 certificates while it was quite time consuming, challenging because of work and other things I was doing, family and taking care of my loved ones and all of that. But I said, hey, you know what? I want to do this. I did set out to achieve to get 2 certificates, but I ended up getting 4 actually. But I sat back and I said, this was really stretching. But again, a lot has happened in my industry that moved me. And I saw and I said, whoa, it was good. It felt good learning these things. So pay attention, be deliberate about your personal growth. Like I mentioned earlier, many of us do have a plan for professional growth, growth in the office, career growth, but individual intentionally planning for your personal growth. No, many people don't. So, how do you do this? Attend workshops, read books, seek mentors, and never underestimate the power of acquiring new knowledge, whether it's online or offline. Make sure that you continue to upskill. Because the more you invest in yourself, the greater your capacity to overcome obstacles. You don't start preparing for obstacles when they're there already. You prepare for them before they come. The next tip I want to share with you is to cultivate a positive mindset because your mindset actually shapes your reality. Whatever you see physically is just a figment of what has been built mentally. So whatever you see, wherever you are today, you already saw it mentally and you worked consciously or subconsciously to this point. So you want something better next year, you need to work on your mindset. Approach the new year with a positive and optimistic mindset. Challenges will come. We cannot write those off, but it is your perspective and your response that will determine the outcome. Because you cannot tell, you cannot determine, you cannot dictate what life would throw at you. But of course, you can manage your response. You can tell yourself, this is how I want to respond. I'll give you an instance. I always would tell the one of I would tell not one, I usually would tell my children, I say, anger is an emotion that is faceless, but it cannot, like electricity would always need, like electricity, it will need an agent to pass through, a conduit to pass through. That's how I think anger is. So anger is a form of energy, but it needs a person to possess. It needs a person to get into, and then the person acts with that energy. But you have to tell yourself when you're beginning to get angry that now you know what, I'm not going to act on this energy. That's the same way kindness, self-control, they're all forms of energy. So you choose what energy you want your body to house and what energy you want to act on. We all have that power to do that. Now, for some people, they have better control than others, but we all can learn to grow. And so, having a positive mindset is really powerful. And one way you can do that is to surround yourself with positivity, practice gratitude. I said that from the beginning, all right, and believe in your ability to overcome adversity. Where you need help, seek help. Where I need help, oh, you can be sure I will seek help. I tell you, many of us find it hard to seek help. And I think I fall into one of those people who feel I want to do everything myself. I don't want to bother anyone. But hey, someone knows something that you do not know. So I'm inviting you to join me in the new year. Let's be humble enough to recognize our vulnerability and seek help, ask for help, ask for people to help us. I say sometimes when you ask for help, people will turn around and probably rub it on your face and do all sorts, but that tells you the level at which they are. All right, that tells you how small they are. People who have a large heart understand that we all have got to be supportive. And that brings me to my next point, which is build a support system. Build a support system. Now, no journey towards success is successfully taken alone. You understand what I mean? So cultivate a support system, have like-minded people, be part of a community or communities that would help you. Share your goals with those who believe in your potential and will not run you down, will not attack what you're trying to do and kill you, right? Kill your desire to do what is good. Because the encouragement and support that you get from others can be a powerful force. I remember some time ago when I started this journey, I became a bit more conscious about myself and my self development. And I joined a community where we had to build a business from scratch together, meeting together for months, brainstorming, putting up things and tearing them down and criticizing them built my mind. So today, even when I try to build something and it doesn't work, I remember those days when we built that company. Eventually, we built that company. All right, it came up, it stood. But I remember those days how we would try things and scrap them, try things and scrap them, tear them apart. And I get to understand it's part of the journey of building. Building is quite messy. Most people just come up and they see the finished product and they go, wow. But no matter how wowed you might be when you see the finished product, you can never take the experience of the person who saw that product being built from the dirt. That's an experience that nobody can give to you. You've got to be there in the dirt, in the shop, in the workshop, cutting and sawing and nailing and hammering and all of that and tearing down. That experience, you can't just read that experience, you have to live it. That's why when people that have gone through a lot of things talk, that you feel the depth, you feel the emotion, because they tell you by their actions, by the gesticulations, their facial expressions, I was there. It's not the same as when you read it from a book. That's why we need mentorship, we need coaching. So you go into this year, find a community that help you to experience those things. You see, by way of giving back, as we go into a new year, as we launch into a new year, I and my team, we are 7 organizations worldwide, all over, wherever you are, physically and virtually, depending on where you are. We're giving a 1 hour workshop on personal development and leadership. Well, the topic is stretch. That's it. And during the time when we'll be with your organization, by the way, I have, I think, one more tip or two more tips to share with you. Stay with me. So during the time that will be with your organization, I will share 3 intense personal development lessons that will significantly help participants in their service to their businesses, their communities, and the people around them. And in my presentation, I will demonstrate what I call the stretch principle and discuss some personal development myths and stories that people that bar people from taking action. And I'm going to explore the goodies that are in there in one of John Maxwell's books called 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And I'm going to share a couple of lessons that participants, I guarantee you at the end of that presentation, will have a broader insight as to what personal development is and leadership, and they will have lessons they can apply in their various lives immediately. And that's why I'm inviting you. I don't know what organization you belong to. We are very willing to reach out. It could be physically or virtually. We can always arrange. So I'm sure wherever you're watching this video from, you might see a link, something to direct you where you can talk to us. And we're giving you 1 hour for free. And that's just for a limited time. This 1 hour workshop for free is worth £500. But and that is like when we're doing it individual sessions and people are just coming on their own, because it's really massive, plus all the support system we have in place. But I just want to start a relationship with you as we walk into a new year. And I hope that this gets to you and we can talk some more and see what comes out of this. So look around this video, or maybe beneath it, you see a point where you could click or you could get across to us, and we can talk some more on how we can help build your organization, build the people within your circle, be it a not-for-profit organization, be it a business organization, whatever it is. It could be your managers. We have an amazing community, really powerful, working hand in hand with the John Maxwell team, and we'll be able to help you and see what we're learning, share the same with you. So that as we walk into the new year, we would be stronger, better, more resilient. So I'm going to share the final tip with you, the last tip in this case, which is celebrate milestones. I think that goes also to what I talked about in terms of gratitude. As you progress through the year, take the time to celebrate your achievements. So at this point, you might be watching this towards the end of the year. Look back. What have you achieved so far? Itemize them. Take some time to celebrate that with your family, with your friends, with yourself in your quiet moments. Acknowledging your milestones not only boosts your morale, but also serves as a reminder of how far you've come. It's not been so easy for so many people. Recognizing how far you've come goes a long way. So I encourage you to celebrate the journey and not just the destination, because the goal is not the point. The goal is actually a reward for the growth that happens as you leave your comfort zone towards your goal and travel through the tension zone to the goal. The goal is a reward for the growth. You understand the point, right? So the point is not you hitting the goal. The point is, are you growing? So in conclusion, I encourage you to prepare successfully for a new year. And preparing for a new year, a couple of things I need you to pay attention to finally. Number one, go to war with yourself. Separate your mind from you. Go to war with yourself. We all want toughness. We all want the good things. But the toughness and all the good things will not come from the comfort zone. So go to war with yourself. In the winter, summer, whatever season it is, wherever it is, whatever it's happening, go to war with your mind. Separate your mind. Your mind says, oh no, let's take some time. Tell your mind, shut up. We're not taking some time. We're getting out. Because the biggest enemy you have, look in the mirror. Biggest enemy you have is you. The biggest enemy I have is me. So what do you see when you look at the mirror? Do you see a champion? Do you see a winner at the end of the new year? Or do you see a loser? You choose. By the way, on the journey of personal development, there are no losers. You win some, you learn some, but you must be determined to develop. You must be determined to grow. So I encourage you to embrace a mindset of and adopt habits that propel you, that help you to grow, push you towards your goals and your aspirations. And in the process, keep examining, am I growing? If you're not growing, it's time to stop and re-examine your steps. Because if you've been running towards a point and you figure out at the end of the day that you've run like 3/4 of the mile, but there's a cliff over there, it doesn't make sense to keep running. Maybe you've been running in the wrong direction. There's nothing wrong in stopping at that point and turning back. Don't say, I've gone too far to turn back. There's a cliff over there. Are you going to jump over the cliff? Thank you so much for taking out this time to watch this, to listen to this. And I encourage you, please share this video with your friends. And it's a bit lengthy, but if you care about personal development, if you care about the new year, take action. All right, watch this video, save it to remind yourself. Now, this is me talking to you as well as I'm talking to myself as we walk into a new year, and understand that without these 8 steps, clearly, I'll tell you, if you do these 8 things, okay, the new year will be different. You will feel it. You will see measurable results. I guarantee you that. That you reflect, you show gratitude, you list your achievements, you tell yourself, you give yourself a pat and say, well, I've done well. And you stretch yourself where possible, cultivate a positive attitude, invest in personal and professional development. Oh my, you will see the difference. Again, my name is Stallone-Obaraemi Samuel, and my sincere desire for you, my friend, as we walk into a new year, is that you go on succeeding, by becoming a better version of yourself. So until I come your way again, go on succeeding and bye for now.